Team, family, squadron. Here we are with a personal favorite, an absolute gem of a human being. We're here with Jake Slezak, Golden Door winner, one of the brightest futures at the company, one of the most talented and capable leaders we have. I can't wait to talk to this guy and see what he's got plotted for this year and to kind of cover what went into his massive effort this last summer. But as for right now, welcome out to yet another episode of The Landing Pad.
Here we are. Just this is another one that we got to start with pronouncing the last name the right way. Just like Carson Blizzard, not Blizzard, not Blizzard. This is Jacob Slezak, not Slezak, not Slezak, not Slezak,
Not
not
Slezak.
not Slezak. It's Jake
It's
Slezak.
just Slezak.
Just Slezak. Dude, Jake, how we doing, brother? Welcome to Landing Pad.
Oh, so good. Such a pleasure to be here.
We made it, dude.
Oh, finally.
We've been trying to corral you down, trying to get you last week. How'd the blitz go?
It was pretty good. Had some rookies to take care of. It was great out there. Taught them the ropes.
To Austin, Texas.
Yeah, Texas is quite the wild market, honestly.
Yeah, Austin, Texas. If I was going to live actually in a city in Texas, it'd be Austin. Austin is sick. Did you explore it all?
We didn't go like explore too much, but it was a cool place. I actually liked it a lot.
10 days is just, you're just going hard
I was
for 10 days.
going every day. Except for maybe one day. Maybe took a break.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You got to get out. You got to enjoy the life. So, Jake, tell us, who are you? Where are you from? What are you up to?
Yeah, so I'm from San Diego, California, born and raised.
How long have you been in Utah for?
It's been pushing almost 2 years now. Moved here after the first summer on a whim. Never been here before. But I finished up school. I went to college up at Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo and came right out after that, after finishing up senior year. Went out to New Jersey and then been here ever since.
Did you come to Utah for like door to door? Just like be closer, or was it just like a change of pace?
Basically. So Jake,
so
we went to high school together and all that kind of stuff. And him and Lucas Thiele.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be on the podcast sometime here soon. But
I would love that.
That'll be the day. That'll be the day. But those two were looking for a new place, and I was like, sure, why not? And I'll try out Utah for a little bit. And I've fallen in love with this place.
And
it's
here you
gorgeous.
Are. And here you are. Now at the Rookery.
It's fantastic.
Well, dude, let's get past the pulchritude and let's obviously you're pulchritude, and let's get to know you a little bit better, obviously. So getting to know you, we're also trying a new segment, a new word of the podcast.
Pulchritude. I was just letting it marinate.
It's great. I was letting
it simmer.
Letting it fester a little bit.
Physical beauty, with maybe it's like a fortune cookie. Whatever word you get, like that will just define who you are. So getting past your pulchritude and getting into the nitty gritty, let's take a dive into who Jake Slezak was and what his journeys looked like. So Jake, first summer, you only came out for 8 weeks. What was your reason for only coming out for 8 weeks?
So Cal Poly is a weird school. So we get out like at June 14th or so, and I had to move out of a house, had to get back home, spend a little bit of time with the family at least before shipping out off to war. And so I didn't get out to the summer until like July 1st almost because of all that. Yeah, and then me and one of my buddies, Tom, had to drive out. Took us like 4 or 5 days to get across country. Did not straight shot it like I did this past year. So I was only able to get out on July 1st.
And that's you were fully across the country. San Diego to New Jersey. Yeah, that's all the way. That's actually sea to shining sea.
Seriously, I think it was like a 48 hour drive.
Yeah, that's far. So you went out there and you stayed out through the Rumble, came back. Okay.
I was actually out there for a week with just myself and 3 other rookies for a quick second. That was
at the very end.
The very end. That was something.
You were just abandoned.
I was great out there.
You were abandoned, dude.
No, I was taking the leadership. It was great.
So you did 127K your first 8 weeks.
Give or take. Yeah.
Give or take a couple $100.
Yeah.
This last summer was your first full summer, correct? And you came back and just did a Golden Door.
Had to get it done.
So that worked out.
Yeah, it worked out pretty nicely.
I think this is a really interesting starting point, and this is a story that I'm not even crazy familiar with.
No.
I'm loving that we're raising awareness around Jake's story right now. What a treat!
Love it.
My question is, like, you went to college, you got your degree, you I'm sure had some type of career or path somewhat loosely envisioned for yourself and for your life.
Yeah.
How did you get recruited? What was your recruiting process like? Where did it fit into Jake's overarching plan, what you wanted for your next 5 years? And how's it going?
Totally, yeah. I mean, so actually, funny enough, I almost went out for Jake Kurt's first summer out in, I think it was Cincy or something. But he reached out to me, or I was just kind of seeing all the posts on his story before he went out there, and I was like, what the heck are you doing, man? Got real curious, and kind of ended up talking about it a whole lot. Didn't make sense for me to leave school and kind of get out there right at the time. So I was like, I'll just see how you go, or like how it goes for you. You be the guinea pig and let me know how it goes after. And talked to him about it like partially through the summer. I'm like, yeah, when you get back, just sign me up. I'll try it out. And so I went through that senior year of college, kind of got some good experience with doing this little startup. Like my senior project was doing a startup company, and kind of I took over like the sales aspect of that, getting it integrated into different businesses. And so I kind of assumed that I would go into that same path. But then here came the grit, and now we're here. Kind of just took a leap of faith and tried it out after finishing up school, moving out of that place. And boy, do I wish I went out that first summer in Cincy.
What do you think you were gonna do? Sales? Was that kind of like your trajectory? You think?
More or less. I kind of envisioned like working for some sort of startup company, something small, just kind of help it grow. Really, at the beginning at least. And my dad's always done sales, loves it, and so I kind of felt like I was always in the sales world in some aspect, like hearing about his job, kind of whatever. I mean, I don't even know exactly what he does at this point, but I know it's sales, and so I kind of just been always like in that sort of realm, and so kind of sales, it just seemed like a good place to kind of get my foot in the door.
Yeah, and I would love to dive into your first summer. So you get out because this is what's really hard. Back in the day, right, before, we're introducing fall block, if there was a rep that was going to come out and he's like, oh, I'm going to be out like July 15th, I would always be like,
wait or something.
Yeah, just wait. Like at this point, dude, you're only going to have a good 6 weeks of knocking. You're going to have a learning curve for 3 weeks. You're going to have like you're going to sell probably like 50, 60K. It just won't be worth it for you.
Yeah.
Dude, talk to me about when you arrived. What was that like? Did it click pretty? Did you train beforehand so it clicked pretty easily, or like, because 127K in 8 weeks, what is that? That's like 10, 12K, 13K a week. Like it's not
steady.
Like it's steady. It's not like crazy good, not crazy. Like it wasn't bad. Talk to me about like those first few weeks and what
it was
like.
It was honestly wild. So that buddy of mine, Tom, that I talked about, so he actually went out. He's like my first recruit ever. He came out with me on a whim. But he actually went out 2 months earlier than me. So I kind of got a good gist of like what it was like for him out there. But when I got out there, I think honestly coming out that late helped me in some sense, in that every one of the rookies was already ripping like 2, 3 a day, basically 2, 3, 4 a day. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be the only one out here not selling. So I went out, like bageled the first day, came out the second day, sold 2. And then the rest of that week, it was like one, like maybe another bagel. And then that next week, actually, I think it clicked sometime in that week, probably when I got bit by the brown recluse on that Wednesday. And that next week, I ripped 7 on a bum ankle. And after that point, it was off to the races.
You got bit by a brown recluse in the summer?
Oh, yeah. You guys not heard that story?
No.
Absolutely insane. I got bit by...
I had no clue.
I got bit by a brown recluse spider on like my first Wednesday out there. Maybe it was the second. And thought it was like just a normal bite. Kind of went out to work the next day. Ankle started swelling up real big, like the size of 2 to 3 ankles. And I'm like talking to someone on the door. I'm like, hold on a second here. Can you check this out with me real quick?
Was he a doctor or something?
No, just some random dude. But I was just like, I wanted like a real like an old guy's opinion on it.
I hear
and he checks it out and he's like, dude, there's a black spot in the center of that. That's like turning necrotic or whatever it's called, like where the skin is like dying. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought too. Like, can you help me and get me to the ER? He's like, no, but I got a bike. And so he offers me his bike to bike to the ER.
Like a bicycle?
Oh, like a bicycle.
Oh, like a Schwinn.
Like a Schwinn bicycle. But then
Jake Kurt's like, no, bro, I can't pick you up, bro. Take the bike.
No, thank goodness. Jake Kurt did pick me up eventually. Go to the ER. I'm there for like a couple hours. First words out of the doctor's mouth, we got to hit this hard and fast. And I'm like, that's not what you say to a patient. Yeah. And get pumped full of antibiotics. Go out to work the next day. Get bit by 8 mosquito bites on that ankle. Cellulitis, both ankles, skin infection. Bump up the milligrams to 3,000 a day for antibiotics. And that was a good first week and a half on the doors.
Weathered the storm.
Oh, I worked every single day, didn't take a day off.
Well, the good thing about that though, it's like you're selling That's like your house gets broken into and you're like a personal testament about like why you should sell security systems.
Yeah.
It's like if you got a big ass brown recluse bite on your leg, it's just like, look what's going on in your neighborhood, bro. Like,
I left the band from the ER on for like 2 weeks after
100%, dude.
You wouldn't believe.
So that was your first couple weeks. Do you feel like it like naturally clicked with you? And it's like, then you were just steady Eddie a couple a day, like throughout the rest of the summer?
Kind of, sort of. I think I was kind of steady Eddie, or I just kind of forced myself into being steady Eddie because I kind of went into the summer anticipating that I wanted to sell 250K. And I was kind of naive thinking that I could do it in 2 months. Right at the time, I thought it ended up being naive of me, but just because I didn't know what it was going to take. And then getting out there it's a slight slap in the face in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's, sorry.
I just got a question for you. Like so many people, like you said, you feel like it was almost like like you were stoked that you were able to get out there and everyone was already ripping 2, 3, 4 accounts as rookies. Dude, a lot of people would get overwhelmed by that, right? They show up, they're behind, right? And like a lot of people let the fact that if they get behind, like stress them out to the point of like, well, dude, I didn't, like the excuses start to flow in. Oh, no, I wasn't here for the first training. They got 2 months of practice. Like this, it says, I'm never going to catch up. Why do you feel like you look at it way differently as like, oh, dude, I'm not going to be the only one that bagels, even without the extra training and everything?
I think I've always just been super competitive, almost to a fault sometimes. And so it was like, when I got out there, I wasn't gonna make the excuse of like, oh yeah, I hadn't been out for like 2 months. I didn't get the first training. I was like, no, I'm gonna go catch up to you guys. Like, there's no way in heck I'm gonna let you guys just get like extend this gap after this point. I'm gonna close this thing. And I ended up closing a ton of gaps, which was super cool. But honestly, I think it was just I'd done the same thing with like, for example, like football back in the day. Like I made an excuse of like, oh, I missed the first couple like weeks of training, so I couldn't be a wide receiver and had to be a cornerback. And I was kind of just sick of doing that kind of stuff. I figured I might as well go take initiative and catch up to all these guys at this point. I
love that. And then so you finished the summer, 127K. Then you moved to Utah right after that.
Oh yeah, immediately.
And then, I'm sure we'll get into this, to the jump from 127K. I don't even care if it was 8 months, right? 8 weeks. Your next, what in your mind was like, okay, time to jump to a Golden Door, not 400K, not 500K. You're just like, I'm just going to do it. What did that look like?
It kind of happened before I left that first summer because of that kind of difference in goal. Like I was kind of on pace, or I thought I was going to go work until like the end of September and hit 240 and just like get close to hitting the 250 or like 300 that I wanted to do. And so before I left that summer, I was like, I'm going to go rip a Golden Door this year. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to do it at this point. Which was kind of a weird thought just off the bat, only being in the industry for 2 months. But I watched Seeger do it in my office after like managing everything, going and working his ass off every single day and ripping like 11, 12 deals a day at the time. Yeah. Now he's bumped it up to like the 15 to 20 somehow. But, at the time, like 10 to 12 deals a day. And I was like, I can at least get like 6, 7, 8 out here. Like if I'm gonna be working every hour of the day. I don't really know what clicked. I just wanted to do a Golden Door. I just set my mind on it really early.
Yeah. No, I love that.
What would you, looking back, I'm sure you've done like some type of, whether it's like an audit or like a real reflection back on your year in 2023 versus your first year in 2022. What would you say are like the tangible, outside of your mindset being, I'm going to go and rip a Golden Door year 2? What were some of the tangible differences, not just in like maybe like how you were knocking, how you were selling, but like in your day-to-day as well?
I would say a lot of it came down to, I just up and moved to Utah just like to immerse myself in this and kind of just put all my eggs in this basket. And so I kind of came out of that summer and immediately hit the like, okay, I want to get into a leadership role to kind of help facilitate this process of getting this Golden Door. So I went into like recruiting heavily. I think I signed like that first month, like in September. I had like 3 weeks left of September when I got back. I think I signed like 24 guys like that September, and then kind of just kept growing. I'm pretty sure I won each of the recruiting incentives for that off season too.
That's right.
But oh yeah, went to the NFL game with good old Michael Green and Jay Kurt. Mm-hmm. Such a time out there.
Such a vibe.
But I think like one of the biggest things was like actively training and like helping my like new recruits for me, like kind of diving into my own pitch and assessing like, okay, like why are we saying like this, and this throughout the intro, service, pricing, and kind of really reflecting on understanding the like why behind the different parts of the service. That kind of just gave me a way good understanding of like why people buy, I would say. So I was doing that a ton, which I think helped a ton. But then also I would say it really does come down to that mindset though, of like, I was convinced that pardon my French here, come hell or high water, like I'm going to get this thing done even if it takes me until October, November. So I'm going to go out and like put in the work, that like the XYZ to get to that goal basically.
And then so the off season comes, you're dissecting your pitch. You're spending a lot of time in the door-to-door mindset, right? You get out to Boston, another far drive. You get out to Boston, and what is your mindset going in? Is it just clock in, clock out? Is it like getting better every day? Is it like, do you have a goal that you're trying to hit every day? What is because I feel like everybody, right? Me and Easton have sat down with so many people. I don't think that any like Golden Door rep has like the same recipe for how they would describe, or for maybe not even the recipe is the right word, the right like process for them getting a Golden Door. What do you feel like your process was day in and day out to at the end? Because when did you hit Golden Door? September 7th. September 7th.
Yeah.
What was your process? What did it look like for you?
The biggest thing for me was really like, because I had guys out there at that point. It's like, I'm going to show up every single day and do my very best to like just put in all the hours, outwork everyone on the team. So like there was deals, like I would throw in deals, fresh doors at like 10:30 p.m. or like I like in the GFC, the Grit Fight Club, when I was going up against I think it was Hudson for the battle for the top sophomore this past year. So I couldn't let him beat me on that. I drove home after the doors and I was stopped at 6 Cumberland Farms on the drive home, gas stations, to try to make deals, and didn't close anyone there because I needed one more deal to beat him. So I drove home, took an hour and 30 minutes to drive home, stopping at 6 different Cumberland Farms. Ended up at a McDonald's at like 11:25 p.m. Start talking to the cashier there, and inevitably get connected. She gives me her son's phone number, who's the homeowner of their house, and I sell him a pest control contract at 11:46 p.m. a 159s Pro Plus,
and got the dub.
So it's like I think I just put in like all the hours I could have. Obviously, there were some days where I fell short of that kind of goal, but really just put in all the hours. And I had a little secondary goal, which I think helped me more so get to the Golden Door, which was just not bageling. So I made it like my whole prerogative to just, no matter what, if I had no deals at 8, 9 p.m., like I was going to squeeze one out. So I went all last year without bageling, and I think that was the real like push for me, whereas like I know I can get to this Golden Door, this 650 eventually, but as long as I'm not selling nothing a day, I'm always getting closer to that goal. So I was always chipping away at it, making sure I was making progress and not just staying stagnant or like complacent out there.
Yeah, I love that.
Now that you're on the other side of your Golden Door, you wrapped it up. September 7th came and went. Like you came, you saw, you conquered. You did what you set out to do. How has your mindset and approach shifted towards like, yes, what's possible in this job and in door to door and in this lane? But since winning your Golden Door award, how is your like mindset, overall outlook just on life and what you can get out of it? How is it different post accomplishing something like a Golden Door?
Honestly, the biggest thing is like, I mean, I've always kind of thought, or I had like some inkling of like, oh yeah, if like you really set your mind to something, you can go out and get it done. But I think now it's like a true belief in that, where it's like if you actually like want something and are so obsessed with it, kind of like Cal's training at GPS last year, is like if you're so obsessed with something that you really like want to like strive after in your life, like all it takes is just putting in, like if you just put in the work, the hours, like you can go out and achieve that. No matter, like, sure, it may take a little bit longer for some folks or whatever, but if you just invest that effort and like just buy into that obsession, you'll get to that goal eventually. And I think I believe that now more than anything else, and kind of carrying it with me into this year. It's like I'm super excited for what's to come with this summer. Way excited.
Cause dude, it's just funny. I always bring like my like life into these podcasts. So literally yesterday, where I was doing this podcast, or not a podcast, a recruiting meeting with 3 guys. One guy did 700 accounts, the other guy did 350 or 500 accounts, the other guy did 350 accounts. Studs, family, studs, dude. And during this recruiting meeting, like obviously they're all on just fat marketing deals, other places, and like they have some rookies. They're like, dude, Garth, like the only way that it pencils is if this whole, hypothetical, what's the word I'm looking for? Grit difference is actually a thing, right? And it's like, I mean, it was a 3-hour meeting. We were just going back and forth.
Grimy.
And like at the end of it, right, I almost wish that I had all the Golden Doors in there. Because what I said was, like, listen, if we had like 2, 3, 4, 5 Golden Doors, then it's like, yeah, the grit difference just hasn't been like proven yet. And we said like, it's a hypothetical. But then I asked him the question. I was like, dude, when is a hypothetical no longer a hypothetical? It's like when you have the data, when you have like the track record, when it's all there, then like it's not so much a hypothetical anymore. It's like more of like a true proven thing. And we'll see how it goes. Obviously, you plug in numbers, and I think he'll do 1 million here. I think he'll do a Golden Door. He's never done a Golden Door, and it's 700 accounts, and same with his people. But why I bring that up, right, Jake, is, dude, how much does being surrounded by, because you moved to Utah to fully immerse yourself in the door-to-door, dude, for a guy that you felt like you were good. I don't know if you ever felt like you were great when you did 130K. Like it's a great 8 weeks. It's not. I mean, it's an average summer for our rookies, right? So you didn't half the time, dude. How did having like Jay Kurt on your team? How about being surrounded by a guy like Zach Seeger, dude? What is the grit difference when it comes to being surrounded by those type of people?
It's just like, I mean, it's said time and time again, but like that proximity is huge. It's everything. I genuinely don't think I would have gotten a Golden Door this past year without like being in Jay Kurt's office again. And like, especially that first summer being with Seeger and Jay Kurt, it was like, dude, I went to high school with this guy. He's a bum. I can go do this stuff. Just kidding, Jay Kurt. But love you. But like it was just like seeing Seeger do it, Jay Kurt, and being able to like pick the brains of like Cal, Drew, like in the off season, like the wealth of knowledge and just like information and help and guidance that they're just so willing and like open to give you and just like give to everyone is so wildly helpful. Like I don't even know if he knows this, but I did a training with Cal last year, recorded the whole thing on my Apple Watch and listened to it at least 4 times before going out for the summer. And that thing like totally changed how I pitch people. And it's like, I attribute it still, like I'll be using it all this year. And having like those guys to like look up to and like lean on and take from, like in all like the wisdom that they've kind of developed over the last like 5, 6, 7, 8 years doing this job is unmatched. Like it's just an unmatched resource.
Yeah. Cause like that's just where it came down to. And I was like, dude, at the end of the day, you guys just got to trust me. You just got to trust me. Like I promise there are, of our 37 Golden Doors, 33 winners, right? Or 34 winners, whatever the number is. Cause some doubled. It's like, dude, there are some guys you guys would sit across the table with and be like, if this guy can do it, not obviously I'm pointing at Jay Kurt, and I mean Jake Slezak, but like for sure you're like, oh, if this guy can do it, I can do it. You went from 130K in half summer, which how many accounts was that your first year?
Like 115,
119,
something like that.
And how many accounts did you do this year?
I believe it was 544.
Yeah. It's like, dude, how many people have done 120 accounts in half the summer, or even 220 accounts if we double that, and then never go on to do a Golden Door, right? So many. So it's like everyone that's listening to this, like we hit this so many times, but like how many Golden Doors do I think we're gonna have this year? Dude, I put the number at literally 50, maybe more.
I would say more, honestly.
I like if we have 75 Golden Doors, like I won't be like,
I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
75 is a lot. That would be a ton. If we had like 65, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's about right.
Makes sense.
But like, I just think we're sitting down with a guy that's like, yeah, dude, you had a good rookie year, but you just surrounded by yourself with people that just like, maybe not even believed in themselves, but just like believed in everybody else around them. And there's like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. It just makes it not hard.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still hard, obviously.
Yeah, it was still definitely a time and a half, but it was definitely nice to have like, I mean, the belief from everyone else and myself that like no one's questioning whether or not like I could go out and do this. Like they had the full faith that I could. It was just a matter of it was just a matter of me to like pick up my end of the bargain or pick up my slack basically.
100%.
It was great though. Like there's so many times. One of the best things is Jay Kurt again telling me every day that you slow down, and it just riled me up every single day. He said it to me this morning too. But it's just the competition too with being like so close to all these guys. It's like, well, if I'm like just for everyone. Like I'm not gonna be the like odd man out here. I want to go and push myself to be one of the greats.
What would you say is your message to those three guys if you were in that recruiting meeting and then just like, dude, what would your message be? You sold 130K. What would you have said to those guys with your experience now?
Honestly, exactly what you said. Like, just trust me. Like it's hard to sell someone on the difference when they're like so kind of bought in their own space or whatnot. But like the proof is in the pudding with like what we've been able to do and like kind of the difference, and like knowing firsthand going from like 130 to 650 is like the people here are everything. It's the whole reason why I was able to make the jump. Sure, it took a lot of hard work and kind of like mindset on my own end, but like if I wasn't able to kind of take that guidance from all the folks around me, like there would have been no path for me to take to get to that Golden Door. Like I would have been able to, or I would have gone back to just being like maybe like a 200-300K rep, which is totally fantastic and everything, but it's just like kind of that drive and that push to kind of push for excellence and not just like good or great, like push to be like the most elite you can be, and kind of, it's been said on here so many times, but like closing that gap between like your like potential and your performance.
100%. Yeah. I love that.
One of the things that, and we're wrapping up here in the next 5 minutes, I think 2 more questions. One thing that I'm really looking forward to is seeing you and Jackson have the chance to go out and dictate your own culture, lead your own group of guys.
Oh, yeah.
Go out and, I mean, essentially just write your own story. I mean, what could a potential rep look forward to in an experience being managed by Jay Kurt and the legend sitting here with us?
Oh, it'll be all-time vibes. Let me just tell you that off the bat. But the Virginia Valiant Rippers... it's gonna be quite the place out there. I'm so excited to be out there with the guys we got coming with us, to be like running the team with Jaker. I'm just so excited to like be in this like leadership role and have like a whole like crew of just like all of us just going after the same goal. Like we want to make a damn good shot at winning this little thing that I don't know if we talk about it this early yet.
Rumble thing. No,
I don't know if we can talk about this early yet, but
I love it.
What do you want your team, like if let's say we fast forward to September this year, what would you love for a rookie on your team to, if we were to ask him, hey, what was the best thing about your experience with Jake Slezak and Jay Kurt, what would you want them to say?
I would want to say that just like the feeling like kind of like brotherhood on the team, because I feel like that's something last year that we definitely had, was just like everyone out there was like just like a band of brothers, and it was fantastic. I loved the team, like the Boston Dogs. Lovely. Yeah. Shout out to all of you guys. But I would say like the main thing that I would want them to say is just like, dude, I like just love the people I work with. Like I would just keep it simple as that they love the people that they worked with all summer.
This is so true, dude. At the end of the day, when you
don't quit jobs, you quit people.
100%.
Absolutely.
And those people, just the buy-in, the experience. When you have that brotherhood, dude, it makes, and we always talk about like our Rumble, dude, we do like, I don't know, a fourth of our production in a 2-week period. It's
absolutely insane.
It's insanity, but the reason for it, dude, like we always have the GFC, which is the man versus man, right? Rep versus rep competition. And you'll see a tiny little spike in production, but that's because it's you versus somebody else. And you can always let yourself down. Letting yourself down is a lot easier than letting your
the whole team down. Yeah.
So it's like when the Rumble rolls around, to your point, dude, whenever anybody says like, no, dude, like we were a band of brothers, like, and by band of brothers, obviously females, or we're a family. Yeah. We're a family. But it's like, dude, if you can get that type of buy-in from your people, oh, dude, everybody just sells more too. Everybody sells more because everyone's holding everyone accountable because you're a family. You don't let people slip through the cracks.
You're not doing it for just yourself. You're doing it for the people sitting to the right and left of you that are also out there doing it for the people sitting to the right and left of them.
Yeah. Which just makes it way better. So let's just end with, unless you have another question.
No.
Let's finish this with the question that we always ask. Jake, what does the word grit, right? Not the company, but the word grit mean to you?
I've actually thought about this a lot just because I hear it so much. But I would say the word grit means to me is like putting more of yourself in than like what you typically would, like day in and day out, to kind of achieve those things that you want to get out of life. Like kind of giving 100, like not leaving anything left in the tank when you're going, like whether it's in like your relationship, like being like your family, or like in door-to-door sales or whatever it is, like giving 110% day in and day out, because not because someone's expecting you to do it, but because you want to do it and you want to kind of grow and change and like evolve, basically.
Yeah. No, I love that, right? There's no growth in the comfort zone.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
If you're always giving more than is, required or just asked of you, then yeah, you just grow. That was another recruiting meeting I was in. This guy's like, yeah, I think I'm just going to stay here because we're just comfortable. And I was like, I'm going to drill that a million times in this recruiting meeting. And I told him that because, dude, like, if you're comfortable, if you're just putting in what's required and asked of you, you'll be fine. Yeah. You'll be comfortable. You'll be chilling. Like, you'll have a good experience. You're never going to break through and become like what you're never going to close that gap more than what you are, currently doing.
You'll never get through that glass ceiling. Complacency. That's one thing I've not even slowly, but through this, like complacency, stagnation, like the whole idea of apathy, I despise those things now. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Easton, send us home.
That was insightful. We laughed, we cried. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. 30 minutes flew by.
Yeah.
Flew by.
That was 30 minutes?
That's right.
Ah, it's great.
It's quick.
Jake, thank you for coming down. We love you. We appreciate you.
If you want to work with, our guy, Jake Slezak, any of those guys, DM, Instagram handle.
It's just jake.slezak. Slezak.
Slide in.
Nothing
the guy will
crazy.
give you're guaranteed vibes, you're guaranteed a brotherhood, and you're guaranteed a shot at the Rumble. Oh. No, but Jake, we love you, brother. This has been awesome.
Love you guys too. God, it's such a pleasure to be here.
As for this episode of The Landing Pad, we out.